Hey crypto traders, checking in on the sector. We don't have daily lower highs being set yet in Bitcoin, and that is allowing some of our altcoins to lead the way to the upside. We're watching for the potential of a continued tightening range through the weekend, but the bears will have to show up in the short term, and I'll show you what needs to break for daily equilibriums to form on Bitcoin and a bunch of altcoins. So when we last checked in, we had Bitcoin daily equilibrium, and we were looking at we were very close to setting a daily lower high. And what had to happen was the bears had to break the low. And I was recording that video and we were down near the low of the day on June 1st. The candle rolled over, we held the low of June 1st, and the bounce saw continuation. So that was a good sign for the bulls because it's creating more space above that daily higher low support, 33.3 thousand. We can still stay within an equilibrium, and what the last two green days does is it prolongs the time frame with which we can stay within this equilibrium. So if we were to reject from 40.9 thousand, and we'll zoom in and see what we would need for that to happen, but if we were to reject, we can easily consolidate for a day or two into the weekend. Maybe we bounce on Sunday, and then it's going to be into next week before we would see a break. So if our daily lower high, and this is where timing comes into play a little bit, because if our daily lower high had been set on June 1st, the break would occur in a much shorter time frame because the range would be much more condensed. And you can only stay within a tight range for so long, but this is opening up the range a little bit, creating space for a couple days of pullback for a higher low. So next question is, are we going to set a daily lower high, or can the bulls break 40.9 thousand? A lot of altcoins that are stronger than Bitcoin have already confirmed daily trend changes. And that's a good sign overall because we know that the altcoin bulls are going to lead on the way up and they're going to lead on the way down. So this is an example where the stronger alts are leading on the way up. If we were in a scenario right now and none of our altcoins were breaking their daily lower high bullish, it would be a red flag to us because that would be showing us nobody can break resistance. But names are breaking resistance, and we'll look at some of them here in just a minute. So what would we need to see for a daily lower high to likely be set? I'm watching the 4-hour uptrend. It's a very clear uptrend at this point. Last night, little bull flag off EMA support into continuation. Consolidation is back underway again. We're going to say that anything above 37.1 is a 4-hour higher low. We have to lose the 4-hour uptrend. So there's two ways to do it. You can look at the pattern of a higher low every candle, and we can say tomorrow the bears have to break 37.1 if we're going to see a daily lower high set. Zooming in, the 4-hour time frame, that's that level, 37.1. So you can keep it simple and stay zoomed out, or you can zoom in, watch the trends, watch the EMAs, get a little bit more information, but in the end, it's the same thing. We would have to lose the 4-hour uptrend for a daily lower high to be set. If we see a bull break of 40.9 thousand and lack follow through and lack increasing bull volume, it's a red flag in the sense that a daily trend change with a lack of follow through means cautious of a weekly bear flag. But we won't even talk about a potential weekly bear flag until we see, do we continue to tighten up with another weekly inside bar, or are the bulls able to break 40.9 thousand? BTC dominance chart not showing us anything. I look at it for 2 seconds every day at this point because if I want information, I'm looking at the individual altcoins BTC pairings, which is giving me a lot more specified information than this very broad chart. And it's been useful in the past, but at this point in time, dominance chart doesn't really mean anything to me. ETH, so we're right up near resistance here. We got our low high of 29.14, higher low of 21.82, and we just double topped. We failed to break resistance by pretty much 1%, a little bit less, or right around 1%. So it's closer to a bull break than Bitcoin, but it's not breaking bullish. There's a lot of space for a daily higher low to form, 21.82. So that is roughly $700 and change, which means we can pull back 25% from here and still be in a daily equilibrium. We're watching the 4-hour uptrend as our guide. Again, very clear higher lows. Actually, looks like a rising wedge may be forming. This is live charting. I haven't attempted a rising wedge drawing. Let's see if we got one. Something to watch. Because again, if we pull back and hold this support line, this uptrending support line, it's just a 4-hour higher low. But if we break bearish from this potential rising wedge pattern, then it increases the odds that we're going to lose the 4-hour uptrend. So 4-hour uptrend is our guide. Anything above 26.63 is a higher low. If we lose the 4-hour uptrend, daily lower high is likely set. And bulls are watching for daily higher lows. So I right now have a 25% link position still for my daily higher low entry, and I will be looking for entries playing off of a daily higher low. If Bitcoin gives us a lower high and pulls back, maybe I'll trade ETH, depends on what the BTC pairing is doing at the time. But I would like that risk to reward scenario, because my risk is we break daily support and I stop out. And let's say I get an entry and I have an average of 2450 or 2500 average, and we stop out at 2182. That's a large amount of space, so my position size would have to reflect that amount risk, but I would only be risking profits from the daily higher low link swing trade that I made last weekend. So again, that's what can keep me in an aggressive mindset, where I haven't had a losing trade in crypto in a couple weeks, and once I get a losing trade, that's going to be my, okay, slow down a little bit signal. But until that happens, going to be a little bit more aggressive, and entering on a daily higher low for a potential eventual daily bull break is the next trade that I will personally be interested in. And again, I can do my same style. Let's say ETH gives us a daily lower high. I can buy hourly oversold conditions if it shapes up. If we get a little bit of a bounce, I sell half. My break even then becomes much more favorable for risk to reward. So at this point in time, I'm not going to enter anything more on a bull break. I've got my 25% link, really just an anti-FOMO position if we do break bullish, because I've been anticipating daily equilibrium was the most likely scenario on Bitcoin. And again, if I'm going to increase position sizes, it'll be on a daily higher low. ETH BTC. So again, we're watching these altcoin pairings. Are they breaking bullish? 7364 resistance, and it's a double top at this point. We technically broke it, but no follow through. So it is a double top to be keeping an eye on. And again, if we're looking at altcoins, we want to see the bull breaks happening the same time on the BTC pairings as with the US dollar pairings. And right now, ETH, a double top. Link USD has weakened a little bit recently. So inside bar, inside, no, it broke bullish. But anything under 35.36 is just a lower high. At this point, my stop, I'm just walking up a stop every day under the low of the previous day. So I'll probably move my stop up here under $30 shortly, because if $30 breaks, our daily lower high is set, and we're then scouting a daily higher low compared to 23.72. There's a lot of space for that to potentially form. How I know Link is weakening, look at Link BTC on the daily chart. It already set a daily lower high and rejected, and it's forming the equilibrium. There are other altcoins that broke bullish. So in an ideal world, I would have been in an altcoin that broke bullish. So we had a great bounce on Link initially, but it has been weakening a bit since then. And that's not really something that I have any regret over, because there's no way to know, in 6 days from now, is it going to be stronger or weaker? It was one of the stronger bounces, but now other names are entering the spotlight a little bit more significantly. So watching the continued tightening equilibrium, and certainly the bear break here, setting a daily lower high is a clue that Link is not likely to break daily resistance, and it is likely to continue tightening up on the daily time frame. ADA USDT, daily bull break. Definitely stands out, and I certainly know the BTC pairing broke bullish as well, without even looking at it. And we're looking up at that high. Potential little bull flag here. The daily higher lows need to be maintained, but ADA is definitely one of the stronger names. We're in a daily uptrend now. What does that mean? We zoom out and scout a weekly lower high, anything under 247. So even if Bitcoin does break the daily trend bullish, we will be scouting a weekly lower high on ADA, unless we see notable increasing bull volume. In the absence of notable increasing bull volume, a weekly lower high and tightening weekly range is the more likely scenario. And next time we consolidate on both pairings, plenty of space for a daily higher low to form. 133 is that last daily higher low. We can pull back 30% before we get to that level. Matic has been slowing down a little bit. So Matic lower high is already set at 1985. And now we're looking back down at 1514 support. So high, low, lower high, higher low. lower high, and bulls need to hold support of 151. If we are going to break this support level, we will see increasing bear volume as that is happening. If we don't see increasing bear volume, we're continuing to get real tight here, and the BTC pairing is already showing us weakness. There was a red flag where the BTC pairing set its daily lower high yesterday by breaking these inside bars bearish, and the US dollar pairing was the same day. Yes, same day. So not much of a heads up. But if we see the BTC pairing break 4499, it'll be continuing to show us that Matic is losing the spotlight. And again, all you got to do is compare ADA USDT and ADA BTC to Matic and Matic's BTC pairing, and that's the difference between in the spotlight and spotlight is fading. And it seems that some of the bigger initial bounces are fading a little bit more, and Link, again, was one of those names as well. Matic and Link were definitely some of the bounce leaders. BNB stood out to us. Why? Because the BTC pairing broke the daily trend bullish. Again, here is a heads up. Here is a clear early indication. And let's see when exactly did that resistance level break. So 12 on June 1st, the BTC pairing confirmed a daily trend change. When did the US dollar pairing confirm the daily trend change? 12 on June 1st compared to 7 June 2nd. So that is a 19-hour heads up. That again, that BTC pairing breaks daily resistance and instantly probability shift that the US dollar pairing is going to break, is more likely to break the daily resistance as well. So we have confirmed the daily trend change. We zoom out, we scout a weekly lower high. If Bitcoin fails to change its daily trend, we're going to set that weekly lower high very quickly. If BTC confirms the daily trend change, we're going to get some more follow through. And again, we can be looking at retracement sizes on these weekly bounces, the ones that are already taking place, and compare and say, okay, what is our bounce size? And we're close to 50%. So Binance is creating the space for a weekly higher low to form once we top out on this bounce. So again, tightening daily ranges, and if they break bull, we scout weekly lower highs, and we then anticipate weekly tightening ranges are then the most likely scenario. And then if we change weekly trends bullish, we're going to zoom out and anticipate monthly tightening ranges. So one time frame at a time, a lot of names still working on the daily. So that is where we stand. Bears are waiting for weekly lower highs on many names. Or you could be top fishing. So let's say that again. Aggressive bears are top fishing daily resistance on names that have not broken yet, like Bitcoin. Clear top fishing resistance. Patient bears are waiting to scout weekly lower high bearish entries. And right now, the number one thing that everybody's looking at is, can Bitcoin break this daily tightening range bullish or not? Because again, if we can't, then the stronger alts are going to set weekly lower highs very quickly. And if we can, we'll likely get more follow through. So bulls, daily higher lows at this point on watch. I'm not interested in buying a bull break because we will just be looking for weekly lower highs. And again, that's a scenario where my anti-FOMO long-term no touch position comes into play. Great, we change the daily trend. My net worth is going to increase. And I don't like the risk to reward of entries. So I patiently wait for the next trade setup to come to me. We'll see how Bitcoin shapes up. We'll know within the next 2 days whether a bull break is coming or whether a daily lower high and continued tightening range is coming. And we'll check back in. Have a good rest of your day. Do good things. See you soon. More progress from the lilies. That's that big pokeberry from last year. My pathway is becoming crowded.
Many of you will remember the princess tree from the corner last year. In another 3 months, it'll be up all the way to the roof.